Turkish Airlines, 7 Days, and Winline, official global sponsors in association with the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague.
And there is the Mega Sports Arena, illuminating the Moscow night sky. And what a fortress it has proved to be for the home team. Continue to rack up victory after victory on their home court. Here are the visitors, though, the last team to beat them at the Mega Sports Arena back in December of last year. They actually swept the regular season series in the 16-17 season, en route to taking that title last year. And remember, this was the matchup in the championship game in 2016. CSKA Moscow who prevailed. There's James Nunnally leading the league in three-point accuracy. Sinan Guler, Luigi Di Toma up in the three-point accuracy standings as well. But Nando De Colo in such a groove at the moment. Sergio Rodriguez, a fellow Hunter, the league's leading offensive rebounder. Nikita Kabanov finding some form. Kyle Hines, so dependable and ever-present for CSKA Moscow. Hasn't missed a EuroLeague game since January 2014. De Colo just gets the wheels prepared for what promises to be another big night for CSKA Moscow's number one. Andrei Vorontsevich arrived at exactly 200 offensive rebounds in round 7. His three-point shooting will no doubt be a feature of tonight's game as CSKA Moscow prepared to take on Fenerbahce Istanbul in a battle of the last two EuroLeague champions here at the Mega Sports Arena in Moscow. Well, let's hear from Dimitris Atoudis as he addressed his team prior to making their way out onto court.
We talked this morning about the mindset, and the mindset should be on that what we did, and we have to rely on what we did so far. We have to trust that we can play a good defense, and a good defense when we really being mobile over there and help each other, then we can really do things that they are necessary to help the team to win. So that's very important, first of all. I'm not just saying it because of here that the cameras or people are. I strongly believe on that. You have to believe on that. We got to start believing and trust our system. That's very important, all right? I'm not just...
So trust in the system is what is being stressed by Dimitris Atoudis. Here he's going on head-to-head against the man for whom he was the assistant for so long. Let's hear from Željko Obradović.
Keep concentration. Don't talk with referees. We are over here to play basketball. Let's go. Let's go, young.
Well, succinct instructions from Željko Obradović. The players know what they're here to do, and that is to play basketball, not to engage in conversation with the referees. As we see the starting five for Fenerbahce Istanbul: Wanamaker, Guduric, Nunnally, Thompson, and Vesely, giving them a sizable front line, particularly close to the basket. Five who will take the floor to begin the game for CSKA Moscow: De Colo, Higgins, Clyburn, Kriapa, and Kyle Hines is the center. Fernando De Colo and Will Clyburn starting for the second game in succession. So Sasapukul, the crew chief, the officials taking charge of tonight's game. Players prepare to line up. A moment's silence will be observed here at the Mega Sports Arena.
Друзья, к сожалению, вчера вечером скоропостижно скончался судья Евролиги с 10-летним стажем Жан-Лук Матиоли. Сегодня все матчи Евролиги начинаются с минуты молчания. Давайте и мы почтим.
So a moment's silence will now be observed at the Mega Sport Arena, as indeed it will be at EuroLeague venues all around the continent, to pay respects to Gianluca Mattioli, EuroLeague official who passed away at the age of 49.
Спасибо.
So that moment of respectful silence impeccably observed by the fans in attendance here at the Mega Sport Arena. Mr. Mattioli from Pesaro officiated more than 100 games in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague and various other competitions. He will be sadly missed. So we're underway here then at the Mega Sport Arena, round 8 action in the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague, a battle of the last two EuroLeague champions. It's the 2016 champions, CSKA Moscow, who controlled the opening tip, and Nando De Colo, ominously from Fenerbahce's point of view, connecting on his first field goal attempt of the wing, from the wing, giving CSKA a 2-point lead. In his stark contrast, Jan Vesely losing his footing, not able to get the pass that was arriving at the point where he was anticipated to be. Pull-up J from Nando De Colo was nothing but net. So Clyburn. Now with Higgins, back to Clyburn once again, moving his feet furiously to defend him. Vesely kicked out to De Colo, shot clock is at 5. De Colo working on Nunnally. Poked away by Nunnally, and that's a shot clock violation. Terrific defense played by Fenerbahce on that second trip down the floor for the home team. Fenerbahce, the best defense in the league, but bear in mind they're going up against the best offense. Fenerbahce allowing just 72.4 points per night. CSKA Moscow leading the league, scoring 87.7 points per outing. Nunnally for 3, and he connects. The man who is leading the league in 3-point accuracy, 57% from downtown coming in, gives Fenerbahce their first lead of the game after connecting on his first 3-point attempt. From the corner, Higgins bouncing on the one leg, and the threes featuring early in the offenses for both teams. CSKA Moscow take a 2-point lead. Mild press being employed as Higgins is getting down low to defend the ball handler. Now he's picked up by De Colo, his Wanamaker. He's picked up his dribble, offloads to Vesely, who has the ball once again. Nunnally double team temporarily. Kick to the corner, faking the 3, but that's out of bounds. Stepping on the line as Marko Guduric. It's another turnover. So 3 trips down the floor as we see the 3-pointer drained by Corey Higgins. And 3 trips down the floor, Fenerbahce have taken 1 shot at the basket. As De Colo sees a lane, goes up strong, rejected. I think James Thompson got a piece of that one. Active on the interior. De Colo saw a lane and did not hesitate, driving strong. He's inquiring as to why the whistle wasn't blown for a foul. So Clyburn, guarded by Guduric. Clyburn trying to post up down low. De Colo looking for him now. Clyburn has it, dribbling right into a double team, and it's another turnover. Jan Vesely picked it up, but then Fenerbahce give the ball away once again. Miscommunication between the team members on the transition opportunity. It was a terrific takeaway. Guduric looking for an outlet and completely catching James Nunnally unawares. So turnovers featuring more highly than one would anticipate, given the quality of these two teams. Drake's line drive from Clyburn, dips his shoulder, rubbed out by Anderson. Offensive foul is the call. Putting his body on the line after getting terrific positioning. was Marko Guduric. Look at how he moved his feet. Now, was he stationary? But the arm did come out from Will Clyburn, I think. So the push-off just a little bit too blatant from Will Clyburn. Offensive foul is the call. It's his first, team first. So Corey Higgins now picks up Brad Wanamaker. Wanamaker looking for Vesely down low, he's rolling to the hole, and he takes it straight over Victor Kriapa. Terrific screen and roll, and then he got it and kept his momentum going to extend a trusty right-handed hook to tie the game at 5. Kicked out. Higgins looking for his second three of the night, and he is connected. Corey Higgins makes it a 3-point lead for CSKA Moscow. He moves to 6 points in the game. Remember, he was the most accurate three-point shooter in the league the year that CSKA Moscow won the championship. 54% from downtown, movement to the corner, Wanamaker for 3, rim shot, Nunnally active on the glass, finally into the hands of Nando De Colo. That's an easy foul for the officials to call. Nunnally a little bit too physical with his defensive attentions on De Colo. Call for his first. Here's the hand to the midsection. While he's heeding his coach's instruction of not to talk to the official, covered his mouth, so he spoke no evil. Guduric picks up the loose ball. Quick hands by Higgins inside, swooping to the lane and finishing it. Here's Marko Guduric. He brings Fenerbahce back to within 1. So Clyburn gives it to Higgins. Nunnally pursuing him around the perimeter. He gets to the free throw lane. He pulls up. Big rebound secured by Guduric. Vesely down low, kicks it out. Wanamaker for 3. Short on the shot. Crashing hard is Thompson, and he keeps it alive for his team. Vesely up strong, went to cram it, but instead demonstrated delicate touch by getting the finger roll to go. Fenerbahce take the lead for the first time. Here's Vesely, the kick out to Wanamaker, and just look at how ferociously Fenerbahce crashed the boards. James Thompson keeping it alive. Nando De Colo just got his feet on the halo, but he saw Vesely soaring over him and finished. A soft touch around the rim. Nunnally picks up his dribble, kicks out to Wanamaker. From the top of the key, oh, tough shot. What a finish from Jason Thompson. 5.4 points per game so far this season for the man in his first season in the EuroLeague. Colo driving, nice catch by Hines, lots of contact as Jason Thompson clobbers him to the hardwood. So Kyle Hines will go to the free throw line. There's the nice catch. Gathered himself, pump fake, got his man in the air, and as he was coming down, Jason Thompson made sure that Kyle Hines couldn't get a shot attempt away. Now the bench for CSKA Moscow, calling for an unsportsmanlike. Remember, an unsportsmanlike foul, the interpretation, anything that isn't a legitimate play on the ball is likely to result in 2 shots and possession. Kyle Hines doing an outstanding job from the free throw line so far this season. 88% coming into the game, and that's from a career 64% shooter. So Kyle Hines, perfect from the free throw line. It's a 1-point game. Vesely rattles around on the rim again. Thompson really active and kept it alive. Outstanding hustle from Thompson, and it's finished with a one-handed cram from Jan Vesely. Jan Vesely moving to 6 points in the game, 3 of 4 from 2-point territory. Look at this for outstanding desire. And then awareness of body and positioning. Guduric feeding a streaking Jan Vesely, who invariably got his head up by the hoop and finished with a flourish with a one-handed jam. So timeout on the floor, Fenerbahce leading by 3. So confirmation of the head-to-head record in this, the 23rd meeting between these two EuroLeague powerhouses tonight. Remember, Fenerbahce, the last team to beat CSKA Moscow here at the Mega Sport Arena, that coming last December, and they actually swept the season series. Corey Higgins. 6 points in the game so far. This is how he has got them. Three-pointer, lined up and landed from Higgins. Two for two from downtown. Shooting 40% from beyond the arc so far this season. Well, it's a takeaway. Jan Vesely bagging the steal and looking to extend a lead which equals their largest in the game. Vesely, fellow Hunters, Kyle Hines defending it. Guduric working the dribble. Thompson gets his man in the air, runs into another defender, but drains it from the top of the key. Jason Thompson with his second long-range two. So Kriapa fakes, drives, gets to the glass and lays it in. Well, the move may have been in slow motion, but it was oh so effective from Victor Kriapa, connecting for his first two of the game, and he makes it a one-possession game. Wanamaker, guarded by Higgins, kicks it back. This is Thompson's spot, but a bullet pass. What positioning from Jan Vesely. That's why he's acknowledging the assist. Vesely moves to 8 points in the game, 4 of 5 from two-point territory. Fenerbahce lead by 5. De Colo has it knocked away. Guduric with active hands. 3-on-1 opportunity. Vesely with the catch. Kicks it out. Down to Vesely, goes up strong. Kyle Hines was there, and he got a piece of it. Kyle Hines, third on the all-time block shot list in the EuroLeague. And that was his first rejection of the game, going up against high-flying Jan Vesely and coming out on top in that aerial duel. Just got a piece of it, but it was enough to deny the dunk attempt, because that is all Jan Vesely had in his mind. Bradovic saying, come on. Too much body there for that to be a clean block, as De Colo fires from the wing. And the CSKA offense just sputtering here. 2 of 5 from two-point territory. 4 of 7 overall. Total field goals. Beautiful pass once again. Jan Vesely already in double figures. 5 of 7 from two-point territory. And it's a 7-point lead for the visitors. So Rodriguez gives it to Hines. Kriapa fakes the three. Nice catch by De Colo under the bucket. Gives it to Kyle Hines. Power dribble, strong move. Too strong off the glass with the layup attempt. So Nunnally working on Rodriguez. Too lethal three-point marksman. Too much contact from Rodriguez. Whistle on the play. He'll be called for his first. Rodriguez shooting 44% from three-point territory this season. Kriapa and Kyle Hines taking a seat on the bench. Fellow Hunter, the league's leading offensive rebounder, checking in, along with Andrei Vorontsevich. So swarming defense being applied by Higgins, and Vorontsevich active with the hands. Well, they had to inbound it there, Fenerbahce, or they may have been guilty of committing a 5-second violation. Corey Higgins making life very difficult for the inbounder, but he's not doing anything illegal because he isn't breaching the plane of the sideline. So sorry for the brief loss of pictures there. Timeout on the floor. Fenerbahce commanding position now, leading by 9. Jason Thompson, 3 of 4 from two-point territory, and that is proving to be his spot so far in this game. Kurylenko. Well, Jan Vesely is already into double figures in this game. Really active to begin this round 8 encounter. And a lot of it has been on shots like that. Terrific positioning, laying it up at the glass. 5 for 7 so far in this contest, and approaching 8 minutes of play. So Rodriguez gives it to DeColo. Back to Rodriguez rather fortuitously. Jumps to pass. Corey Higgins fakes the 3, drives, and gets the reverse layup to go. Corey Higgins now with 8 points in the game to lead CSKA Moscow in scoring his first 2-pointer. So Wanamaker now being shadowed by Higgins. Guduric defended by DeColo. Vorontsevich came out to help, but is being called for the foul. So Wanamaker sees a seam, drives the lane, goes glass, but can't get it to fall. Rodriguez. Hunter's rolling to the bucket. Rodriguez pulls up for 3, more in than out, but it rattles out. So Wanamaker, he bumped on the perimeter. Now in the hands of Guduric. He lost the handle temporarily. Now Vesely posting up and working down low on Vorontsevich. He's gambling, reaching for the steal, and there's too much contact.
Номер 20 получает второй фол. Second foul. У ЦСКА 4 командные фола. CSKA has 14 fouls.
So Wanamaker down to Vesely, who pump fakes, then goes up strong, count the basket, and he will go to the free throw line looking for one more. Vorontsevich having a difficult time keeping this man from accumulating fouls against him. Communication between CSKA Moscow, because going to the free throw line now will be Jan Vesely looking to complete the 3-point play. It's confirmation of his numbers coming in to the season from the line, and he completes the 3-point play. And now Fenerbahce's lead is a double-digit one. So Rodriguez to DeColo, movement around the perimeter, bullet pass to the corner. Vorontsevich connects from downtown. Vorontsevich has been outstanding from 3-point territory once again. He was 0 for 5 from 3-point territory through 5 games, but then since round 6, he has been pretty hot from long range. Connects on his first tonight from the corner, Nunnally, and he continues to remain lethal from long range. Well, the fact that CSKA Moscow's score is 16 suggests that Vorontsevich has been credited with a long 2 rather than a 3-pointer. I thought it was a 3, but it's gone down as a 2 for Vorontsevich. But Nunnally given too much space when he's in this type of form. Nunnally with his second 3-pointer of the night, and he is yet to miss. 57% to lead the league in 3-point accuracy coming into this game. Closing seconds, DeColo keeps it in his hand, sees a lane, tries to get to the glass and does so, kicks it out. Vorontsevich again from the corner, front rim on the shot, and at the conclusion of the first quarter of play, it is a double-digit lead for the reigning champions. CSKA Moscow 16, Fenerbahce Istanbul 27 here at the Mega Sports Arena. Well, it was CSKA Moscow who took the lead from the opening tip. But James Nunnally connected from downtown for their first score of the game. Corey Higgins answered with a 3-pointer of his own to edge CSKA back in front. He then made it 2 of 2 from 3-point territory. Jason Thompson has been really active. He's done that on repeated occasions, rescuing seemingly lost causes. Jan Vesely ended the first quarter with 13 points in the game, including completing a 3-point play, 6 of 8 from 2-point territory, 1 of 1 from the free throw line. And that is how the reigning champions are leading the 2016 champions by a margin of 11. More shots, an edge on the glass, and look at how they are sharing the basketball. The movement absolutely giving CSKA Moscow fits through that first 10 minutes of the opening quarter. Well, there's Jan Vesely already surpassing his season average. Corey Higgins approaching his with his dead-eye shooting from 3-point territory. And his 1 of 2 contribution from 2-point range as well. And Jason Thompson, well, not only has he scored 6 points on that favored spot from the top of the key, 3 long-range J's he's drained from there, but his hustle, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, and keeping alive causes that seem to be lost for Fenerbahce, giving them a new 14 on which they have invariably scored. So he's doing a lot of stuff that won't necessarily show up in the box score. So the second quarter underway here at the Mega Sports Arena. CSKA Moscow's long-standing home record under threat once again from the team who ended it last season. Required overtime to do it in December of 2016. Wanamaker driving, taking the contact, and getting the layup to fall. Wanamaker with his first points of the game, and the lead is now 13. So from 3, count it. Semen Antonov into the game, and instant offense off the bench. It's still a double-digit deficit. Semen Antonov making the scoreboard deficit a little more reachable for CSKA Moscow. Slukas driving left, Vesely rolling to the bucket once again. He's got a size mismatch down low. Nunnally keeps it himself, doesn't get it to fall. Perhaps he would have been advised to offload it then. Oh, that's a tough pass for even Odell Beckham Jr. to catch. My goodness. Would have had to go some to reel in that one, Othello Hunter. Full stretch, still couldn't retrieve that lead pass, just a little bit too much on it. Antonov walking just a little bit gingerly, but there was nothing wrong with the footing beneath him as he drained his first 3-point attempt, checking in off the bench. Semen Antonov, 54% from downtown last season. He's getting that magic spray on the hip pointer. So Vesely guarded by Hunter. Taken away, Hunter leading the break. He gives it to Rodriguez. Wanamaker guarding Rodriguez, now in the hands of Kriapa. Rodriguez once again. Kriapa can't control, he picks up and fires from three, and that's an air ball, my goodness. So 3 of 6, CSKA Moscow from downtown. Victor Kriapa, heaps of experience. Couldn't find the range, wasn't close to finding the range on that one. Wanamaker, keeping the dribble alive. He gives it to Slukas. Big screen set by Vesely, who's rolling to the bucket. He's found with a bounce pass and then delivers the facial right in the mug of Nikita Kabanov. A two-handed cram to move Jan Vesely to 15 points in the game. So a 12-point lead now for Fenerbahce Istanbul, and a travelling violation committed by Kriapa. An air ball on the previous trip down the floor. And then giving it away. Look at this for a find. Absolutely fantastic. And Jan Vesely with that type of momentum, well, it's going to be a shot blocker supreme who denies him when he gets that close to the bucket. And it's only 2 points on the board, but that's the type of impact it can have. Animating and inspiring the visiting team, and can be a little bit deflating for the team that have just been subjected to it. Offensive foul is the call. Ball will come back the other way. Wanamaker getting freely. Too much contact, and I don't think he's finding a sympathetic ear in the form of his head coach, Željko Obradović. There was the shot. Nando De Colo making sure that the official saw it. Bradley Wanamaker called for the foul, that's his first. So it's a 12-point lead enjoyed by the visitors. Nikita Kabanov attempting the three, short on the shot. Slukas with the board. Slukas with his head up, he finds Wanamaker. Rodriguez positioned himself well to delay his progress. So Slukas now orchestrating the half-court set. Wonderful ball movement from Fenerbahce once again. The reverse layup attempted by Wanamaker. But CSKA being pulled from pillar to post by the rapid passing of Fenerbahce Istanbul. So Bradley Wanamaker will go to the free throw line. First time in the game tonight. 86% free throw shooter last season, 75% so far this campaign. Duly makes his first. And a perfect trip to the foul line moves Bradley Wanamaker to 4 points in the game. Gives Fenerbahce 14-point lead. To this animated over on the sideline. These players have got to give him something. They've got to produce a response, because right now Fenerbahce are playing with more intensity. They're playing with more proficiency. De Colo drives inside. Othello Hunter comes back down with it, but then goes up strong. That'll be another offensive rebound for Othello Hunter, as he got the stick back to 4 once again. The league's leader on the offensive glass, getting his first points of the game. Vesely again with another facial. This time right over Othello Hunter. A one-handed jam, taking off from a mile away, soaring through the air, and finishing with a flourish. Jan Vesely, 17 points in the game as CSKA give the ball away. Kostas Slukas just shaken up a little bit, hitting the deck. Well, Jan Vesely, absolutely sensational so far. The roll to the bucket, a power dribble, and have that. one-handed jam taking off from just inside the dots. Fellow Hunter late on the rotation, and that was the result. 14 points matches the largest lead of the game that Fenerbahce have built up. We've got a review on the play that sent Slukas to the hardwood. And the Fenerbahce team were inquiring as to whether this is sportsmanlike. I'm sure CSKA were asking for an offensive foul. That split screen that we saw a few moments ago gives you an idea of what the officials have to look at. And they make their way over to the scorer's table. And it has indeed been called an unsportsmanlike foul against Nando De Colo. So this will be 2 shots and possession for Fenerbahce. Kostas Slukas, who is perfect so far this campaign. He made 12 of 12 coming in to the contest, make that 13 for 13 on the year now. 14 of 14 from the stripe. And the lead is now 16. And the ensuing possession still to come for the defending champions. So 4 minutes gone in the second quarter. CSKA Moscow have scored just 5 points. Slukas fakes the 3, kick down to the corner. Back to Slukas once again. Shot clock is at 5 now. He's working against Hunter. Sees the lane, takes it up, goes to the left-handed circus shot. Can't get it to fall. De Tome hustling for it, but it was Clyburn who hit the floor, only to give it straight back to Kostas Slukas. So a new 24. It's going up strong, denied at the rim. Coming back again with Nicolo Meli. Foul called when the ball is on the floor. But Fenerbahce animated and excited over on the sidelines. CSKA Moscow in stark contrast, looking rather subdued. Ball was loose, battling for it once again was Meli. Came down with it, and then as he went up for the second time, too much contact. So Wanamaker gives it to De Tome, squares up short corner, bottoms it. It's all smiles for the Fenerbahce faithful who have traveled. 18 points the advantage now. And this last touch by CSKA Moscow. So Fenerbahce in a commanding position. Timeout on the floor, just past the midpoint of the second quarter, and it is all Fenerbahce in this battle of the last 2 EuroLeague champions. Well, that record could well be under threat. You see that the last loss they suffered at home back in December 2016 went to overtime, but in that overtime, it was all Fenerbahce. Absolutely dominated the extra period by a margin of 20 points to 4. Which is a competition record margin in the extra period. So far tonight, well, the way Jan Vesely is playing, overtime may not be necessary. 17 points in the first half on 8 of 11 shooting. He has been indomitable down in the low post. It's confirmation of the outstanding night he is having. Bagged a couple of steals as well. Big body and activity on the defensive end is making life difficult for the home team. Plays to the basket. So Rodriguez keeping the dribble. Wanamaker So the ball is offloaded. Higgins for three. Short on the shot. Kabanov comes down with the offensive board. It's a new 14 for CSKA. Kyle Hines sets a screen, rolls to the bucket. He's found, but then the pass is broken up. Fenerbahce off and running with Slukas. He had no options in front of him, so intelligently, he's pulled it out and waits for the backup to arrive. Well, everything is going Fenerbahce's way tonight. 18 points, their largest lead of the game. Kolo Meli trying to post up Corey Higgins and exploit that size advantage. Whatever Coach Adidas is saying to his squad, well, to this point, it's not producing the desired reaction. Can they get a stop? Kolo Meli spins baseline. Kabanov stays with him. He's picked up his dribble. He finds Vesely, who fires from the corner. Short on the shot, Kabanov with the board. So that's the first part of the equation from CSKA's point of view. They've got themselves a stop. Rodriguez working the dribble. Datome is chasing it. So Rodriguez will look to offload here. Going up strong and serving up a facial. Kyle Hines producing the type of play that can get his teammates inspired. Forceful finish on the inside from Kyle Hines. 4 points in the game for him. Timeout on the floor. The roll to the bucket, the power dribble, and then up strong. Undersized for a center is Kyle Hines at just 1.98 meters, but my goodness, is he a force in the paint. There you see the reaction from the fans in attendance and the team on the bench. Timeout has been called immediately, but there's just an idea of the dominance that Fenerbahce have enjoyed through this round 8 encounter to this junction. James Nunnally, the league leader in three-point accuracy, is 2 of 2 from three-point land so far for his 6 points in the game. That's how he's done it. So the crowd now trying to make their presence felt here at the Mega Sports Arena. CSKA Moscow trailing by 16. They have trailed by as many as 18. But a big jam from Kyle Hines. Got the crowd infused here. Mele gets his man in the air, slapped away from behind. Nikita Kabanov with the help defense, with the rejection on the help side. So the pump fake got Corey Higgins in the air, but Nikita Kabanov just sending a message on the inside, and now they come up with a steal. Unsportsmanlike foul the other way. Kyle Hines will go to the free throw line for 2 shots, and they'll have the following possession. There's the reach from Jan Vesely, deemed to be not a legitimate play on the ball. Remember that rule brought in after Rio 2016, the Olympic Games, where that tactic was used repeatedly. As Kyle Hines continues to be rock solid from the free throw line. He's 3 of 3 tonight. Kyle Hines. Make that 4 of 4. 6 points in the game for him now. And his lone field goal has been that one-handed jam that got the crowd up on their feet here at the Mega Sports Arena. So Rodriguez offloads, going up strong, and finishing with the foul is Will Clyburn. Positioned himself fantastically. Sergio Rodriguez with his 2nd assist of the night. And so now it's already a 4-point possession because of the unsportsmanlike foul. The 2 free throws were made. The following field goal has been drained. But Will Clyburn can't complete the 3-point play. So Slukas, guarded by Hines. Kabanov now picks him up. Zone being played by CSKA Moscow. Shepherding, guiding players from one area to another. Pulling up Slukas, big rebound. Nicolo Melli's knocked away. Karl Hines with his head up, charging down court. Stopping and popping from three-point territory and connecting is Sergio Rodriguez. And what was an 18-point deficit has been reduced to just 8 by CSKA Moscow. So the numbers on this game so far, both teams shooting effectively from beyond the three-point arc. It was a three from Sergio Rodriguez that made this a single-digit deficit. It has been as large as 18. But since that time, CSKA Moscow have put together a 10-0 run to get themselves right back into the game. And now the crowd here at the Mega Sports Arena trying to act as a sixth man to intimidate the visiting Fenerbahce and inspire the home team CSKA Moscow. They're in the midst of a 10-0 run. They're leading this second quarter 15-12. They can go in at halftime and make it a 2 or 3 possession game. I'm sure they would take that considering where they were. 11 points down at the end of the first, 18 points down before mounting a 10-0 run. A full court press being employed. Kostas Lukas breaks it. Now there are gaps in the CSKA defense. But again, Karl Hines active, last touched by Jan Vesely. And CSKA Moscow have forced another turnover. 8 turnovers committed by Fenerbahce now. CSKA Moscow leading in that particular category. They've given the ball away 11 times. Corey Higgins sees a lane, gets all the way to the glass, and gets the right-handed layup to fall. Well, the official score is reading 32-39 as that shot is slapped away, so somewhere there must have been an adjustment. Because according to my recall, Sergio Rodriguez hit a 3, which would have made it 31, and that's what the score clock read when the timeout was called, but it's now been adjusted to 32 after that field goal from Corey Higgins. So an adjustment must have been made somewhere, because now the deficit is 7 rather than 6, which is what we would have anticipated. Sergio Rodriguez, 3 took it from 28 to 31. So it's now an 11-0 scoring run, and maybe that's what the consultation at the table is about. And you perhaps heard Dimitris Atoudis saying, when we scored the three-pointer. I suspect the conclusion of that sentence would have been the score clock read 31. So they're going to have to get to the bottom of this. Well, that's how things stand on the official box score, but there seems to be quite a lot of discussion as to whether that score should be 33. So the scoring issue is going to have to be resolved. This was the play that got the momentum going in CSKA Moscow's favor. And that's the point we made earlier when Jan Vesely was rocking the rim repeatedly. It may only be 2 points on the scoreboard, but it can have this type of effect on the crowd. It can have an infusing effect on the team, and all of a sudden, you get a big play like that, it can lift things exponentially. So it seems as though it is 32-39 before that free throw. That snaps what I suppose is an 11-0 run. An 11-0 run posted by CSKA Moscow to bring themselves back from 21-39 to 32-39. Trailing by 9 once again. Getting to the glass, getting the layup to fall after leaving Nunnally trailing in his wake, and stranded on the hardwood is Sergio Rodriguez. The Tome floats to Slukas. So Slukas handling. Guarded by Hines out beyond the three-point line. Kicked out, Slukas fired the three. Count it! Dagger to the chest from Kostas Slukas. First three-pointer of the game. 5 points on the night now for him. The lead is back to double digits. That's a deep three-pointer, and it's nothing but net. My goodness. Sergio Rodriguez is feeling it. Second three of the night. 8 points in the game. And CSKA Moscow appear to be an altogether different team through the midpoint of this second quarter. The Tome, rim shot, Vesely fighting. Nunnally comes away with it. Nunnally faked this, thought about the three. It's closed out by Higgins. Guduric getting to the glass. Where was the defense? And when you're playing with such ferocity on the defensive end, you give up a layup like that, that can be a little bit dispiriting. Rodriguez working the dribble, working on Nunnally. Kyle Hines sets the screen, rolls to the bucket with the catch. Foul will be against Marko Guduric. Fenerbahce still with fouls to give. CSKA Moscow in the penalty inside this closing minute of the first half. They're currently trailing by 9, considering that they were down by as many as 18. Single-digit deficit, I think, will be acceptable. And indeed, welcome by CSKA at this point as Corey Higgins changes direction. Count the basket. Yes, indeed. Corey Higgins demonstrating lightning quickness through the lane. Gets the layup to fall. He moves to double figures in the game. Takes the contact. Light on his feet. Despite being undercut, unintentionally, I hasten to add, he got that layup to fall. Now, he's asking for it to count. But I don't think it does. Well, I thought that was a continuation there. But it's an unsportsmanlike foul. Let's just get to the bottom of this. Fenerbahce now in the penalty. And it's just a foul called, which will be 2 shots for Corey Higgins, rather than the opportunity to complete a three-point play. Corey Higgins to the free throw line for the first time tonight. Rattles home the first. 84% foul shooter for his career. A relatively modest 69% coming into the game this season, but he appears to be finding his groove as the campaign is going on. So Corey Higgins drains both to move to 12 points in the game to lead his team in scoring. CSKA Moscow battling back to a 7-point deficit. So Slukas, guarded by Hines, working the dribble. Hines with quick hands, pokes it away. Then he gets it, it's a 3-on-2 opportunity. Clyburn keeps it himself, slashes to the hole, gets the layup to fall, and the CSKA Moscow fans absolutely ecstatic. Back to within 5. Negligible difference between the shot clock and the game clock in the closing seconds of this first half. And CSKA Moscow's swarming D has brought them right back into this game. Wanamaker with the step back 2, short on the shot. Can CSKA get a final look at the hoop? Higgins from deep, goes glass, can't get it to fall. So at the conclusion of a frenetic first half of play here at the Mega Sports Arena, CSKA Moscow have battled their way back from an 18-point disadvantage to close the first half just 5 points down. CSKA Moscow 41, Fenerbahce Istanbul 46. What a fantastic second half we have in prospect here at the Mega Sports Arena.
Turkish Airlines, 7 days, and Winline, official global sponsors in association with the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague.
So that is how things stand here at the Mega Sports Arena. CSKA Moscow trailing Fenerbahce Istanbul by 5. After a really intense 2 quarters of basketball. Well, Jan Vesely is a real catalyst for so many good things for his team. Jason Thompson deserves credit for demonstrating real hustle en route to 6 points in the first quarter, but Jan Vesely's positioning and movement off the ball was excellent. That a prime example, catching the ball in fantastic position, and that is how he racked up 17 points in the first half. Absolutely dominant display on the inside, pulled off considerably in the second quarter, as did his entire team. And if the fight back for CSKA Moscow can be traced to one moment, here it was. A one-handed jam off a pile-driving power dribble from Kyle Hines. At that point, his team were down 18, and after that jam, they went on an 11-0 run to get back to within 8. Kyle Hines has been solid in so many facets of the game once again. So that is how things stand. It's a 5-point basketball game here at the Mega Sports Arena. CSKA Moscow looking to extend their home winning streak to 15. Remember, it was Fenerbahce who ended the win streak. CSKA Moscow at home last season. Well, let's see if we can hear from Coach Adidas after that topsy-turvy first half of EuroLeague basketball. He said that he was asking his team to trust their system and come out with intensity. And the reality is that they did anything but they did battle their way back in. One wonders how he's going to be approaching this halftime interview now.
Coach, 10 turnovers in the first half. Where do you need to play better to win the game?
You're flattering us because we have 11, not 10. I mean, we start the game very bad. We allow them to do whatever they want. With all the respect, they're a great team as well, but we're a good team as well. We gave them too much. Then we realized we kind of tried to shrink the floor with our defense, and we came back to the game. A little bit.
Thank you very much. Good luck in the second half.
Well, precision from Coach Adidas, because it is indeed 11 turnovers that CSKA Moscow have committed. They did fight back in the second half, and their swarming defense made Fenerbahce cough the ball up 9 times, but they're the leading scorers from the first half. Those players, well, Vesely and Higgins, have surpassed their season averages. Sergio Rodriguez perhaps on course to do the same. Let's hear from coach Željko Obradović then. After his team not squandered, saw an 18-point lead dissipate down to just a 5-point margin of advantage. Let's hear what he has to say.
Coach, a very good start from Fenerbahce. CSKA got 11 turnovers in the first half. What do you need to do to win the game?
So I tried to listen. Can you repeat, please? I didn't understand anything.
Yeah. 11 turnovers got CSKA in the first half. You're the best defense in the EuroLeague. What do you need to do to win the game?
No, we play very good 16 minutes. Last 4 minutes, it was period that they scored 20 points. It was 27. So one team with experienced players that we have don't live to be in that situation. So we need to play like first 10 minutes for sure.
Thank you very much. Good luck in the second half.
Start of this regular season for the 2017-2018 campaign of the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague.
The EuroCup champions have defeated the defending EuroLeague champions.
What a delightful assist from Pierre Jackson.
So that is where our focus of attention lies tonight. The hardwood inside the Mega Sport Arena, illuminating the Moscow night sky. There have been some fireworks on the inside as well, it has to be said. Some outstanding basketball, battling qualities coming to the fore from both teams. Fenerbahce taking an 11-point lead at the end of the first quarter, 16-27. Fenerbahce outscored in the second quarter, 25-19. That is why their double-digit advantage has been whittled down to just 5. Coach Adidas, well, he wasn't happy with the way his team started, said that they gave the reigning champions too much respect. But make no mistake, this one is a battle of heavyweights now. Can they sustain that? Basketball, a game of runs, remember, have CSKA Moscow given so much in closing this deficit. Will they have enough left for down the stretch? Fenerbahce already out on the floor. Remember Coach Obradovic's pre-game instructions, they were rather succinct and simple. You're here to play basketball, don't talk to the officials. He's trusting his experienced crew to go out there and execute the instruction that he has given them. Adidas going up against a man alongside whom he formed such a formidable tandem. In 12 years as an assistant, they won 5 EuroLeague titles together. Adidas under the auspices of Željko Obradović with Panathinaikos 2000, 2002, 7, 9, and 2011. And when they had that face-off in the championship game in 2016. It was Adidas who came out on top to give CSKA Moscow their 7th European crown. So the third quarter underway. Will Clyburn driving aggressively, goes to the one-handed hook. Jason Thompson comes down with the board once again. So Guduric looking for a receiver. Down to Thompson, who has a size advantage over Kabanov, driving before offloading, but he's coughed up. Beautiful bounce pass, taking it hard. It's Corey Higgins, but that was a terrific feed, my goodness. How did Sergio Rodriguez thread the needle on that occasion at full speed? Here's the takeaway, look at that. Between 2 Fenerbahce defenders, James Nunnally called for the foul as he poked it away from Corey Higgins. Corey Higgins perfect from the free throw line so far, led all scorers for CSKA Moscow with 12 points in the first half. And the first score of the game goes in favor of the home team. Not sure divine intervention is required just yet. Corey Higgins has missed his second foul shot. That's his first miss from the free throw line tonight. Still a two-possession game. CSKA back to within 4. Kabanov left on the hardwood. Wanamaker all the way down the lane. Backhand off the shot. Jason Thompson coming down with the ball again. Offensive rebound for Thompson. That's his 4th of the night. Vesely working on Kabanov. Straight into the hands of Hines. Fast break opportunity. The two-fisted fast break dunk from Kyle Hines moves him to 8 points in the game, and that is his 3rd theft of the night. So a 3-0 run to begin this second half, and it is a 1-possession game. Foul called on Sergio Rodriguez. Kyle Hines alert in the passing lane. Will Clyburn guarding Wanamaker. Vesely picks it up at the free throw line. Wanamaker looks at the 3. Thompson's got a huge size mismatch. Which way is that one going? My goodness, that was an aggressive move in the low post from Jason Thompson. Made himself big. And he had the size advantage down in the block. And that's one of the perils of being a smaller defender, guarding a legitimate big down in the low post, because when those elbows come up, nothing malicious, but look at that. That's Corey Higgins' head right in the way. It's against a fellow big, that's to the sternum. But that almost a headshot absorbed by Corey Higgins. Swarming defense sees Rodriguez come down with the missed shot. Keeps it himself, looks at the shot, fires the shot from a long 2. Rebound Nunnally. So CSKA Moscow can't get back to parity. Fenerbahce, 2 minutes gone, they're looking for their first score of the second half. Wanamaker given the baseline by Rodriguez. Where's the help? None coming, and that's too easy for Bradley Wanamaker. First field goal of the second half for Fenerbahce. Their lead is back to 4. Takes a seat on the bench, having picked up his 3rd foul. Higgins working the dribble, gets inside the free throw lane, slices his way to the basket, moving like water through a crevice. Corey Higgins moves to 15 points in the game now, and it's a 1-possession game once again. CSKA Moscow 46, Fenerbahce 48, approaching 3 minutes gone. Wanamaker's picked up his dribble. Guduric gives it straight back to him. He's driving on Kyle Hines, not even close as he went up in heavy traffic. Clyburn seeing a lane. It was closed off by Guduric and Thompson, so he pulls it back out. He's orchestrating the half-court set, working on Vesely. He's got the edging quickness here, backing his man down, kicks it to Kabanov, straight back to Clyburn. Clyburn working the jab step, looking to drive the lane. DeColo looks at the 3, launches the 3, drains the 3, and CSKA Moscow take a 1-point lead. They have overturned what was an 18-point deficit in the middle of the second quarter, and they now lead by 1. Vesely down low, lots of space. Guduric moves it to Datome. Datome silences the crowd with a 3-pointer of his own. CSKA Moscow now trailing by 2. Luigi Datome, 5 points in the game now, and there are the gaudy numbers from Luigi Datome from 3-point territory. He and James Nunnally lighting up the opposition from beyond the 3-point line. Tied for 3rd from 3-point land coming into the game, Datome at 50%. The extra pass despite the valiant attempts of Corey Higgins. You give Luigi Di Tommy that type of time, odds are it's going to go through the bucket. So to the free throw line, Will Clyburn. 2 from the stripe tonight, couldn't complete the three-point play in the first half. CSKA Moscow shooting 70% from the line as a team. So Will Clyburn gets on the mark, off the mark from the three-point line, 5 from the free throw line, 5 points in the game for him tonight. And it's a one-point game. So Vesely posting up Clyburn, watch how he'll back him down. Kicks it to Di Tommy, he fakes the three. Karl Heinz with terrific footwork staying in front of him. Wanamaker with the shot clock ticking down, launches the three. Back iron on the shot, Vesely keeps it alive, can only find Corey Higgins. Well, this is absolutely terrific action here between the last 2 reigning EuroLeague champions. Mismatch in terms of quickness in favor of Higgins. Dancing down the lane, he offloads to Heinz. Jason Thompson worked really hard to stay with him. Ultimately, I think he's going to be called for the foul. So Kabanov gives it to DeColo. He's picked up by Guduric. Good screen sets DeColo 3. What a catch by Heinz! In amongst the phalanx of Fenerbahce defenders, Karl Heinz moves to double digits, 3 of 4 from two-point territory, and CSKA Moscow take the lead. Well, this is everything we anticipated it would be. Look at Coach Atudis getting into the defensive stance himself. Guduric finds Thompson, back to Guduric, 5 for 3, short of the mark. Clyburn with his head up. Fenerbahce back in numbers. To Clyburn, sees a seam, drives the lane. Oh my goodness! How did he get that to fall? Straight from the playground to the Mega Sports Arena here in Moscow. CSKA Moscow take a 3-point lead, courtesy of an absolute circus shot from Will Clyburn, who moves to 7 points in the game. That's a tough finish, but he got it to go. And he does it so consistently that you have to say it's part of his repertoire. In transition, he is really difficult to contain. Timeout on the floor. Big third quarter so far by the home team. They lead by 3. Higgins and Jan Vesely surpassing their season averages. Jason Thompson has been electric. Both ends of the court on the glass. 4 offensive boards, 3 defensive boards for his total of 7. Kyle Heinz, he has come up big once again. So dependable. Hasn't missed a EuroLeague game since January 2014. Swarming D being played by CSKA Moscow. And they're still not over the halfway line. Oh, it's a foul. But Coach Atudis liking that type of intensity, and he leading by example in that regard. But make no mistake, there'll be plenty of instruction in amongst that enthusiasm as well. So Slukas picked up by DeColo. DeColo cleared out by Vesely. Karl Heinz late on a rotation. Jan Vesely moves to 19 points in the game. So he brings Fenerbahce back to within 1. Clyburn looks at the three, lets it fly. Oh, Will Clyburn from downtown moves to double digits in the game, connecting on his first three-pointer. And Clyburn, you get the sense he's beginning to feel it here tonight. CSKA Moscow leading by 4. CSKA led by 3 in the early stages. That's a stroke from Will Clyburn, just admiring his follow-through. Slukas picked up by Hines. Hines getting low. And it goes to Jason Thompson, who's got a big mismatch. That's some improvisation, staying with it on the offensive glass. Finally, Will Clyburn comes away with it. 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. CSKA Moscow looking to build upon their lead. Clyburn working on Slukas, backing him down from nearly three-point territory. Kabanov for 3, rim shot, fighting hard, and coming down with it is Jason Thompson once again. 9 boards on the night for him now. Slukas picked up by Hines at the top of the arc. Slukas not getting what he wanted. Now he's working one-on-one against Clyburn. The shot clock is down to 5. That's almost a carry, surely. Vesely from just above the free-throw line. Jan Vesely, 21 points in the game. He brings Fenerbahce back to within 2. Absolutely sensational display from Jan Vesely, demonstrating his range on that long-range 2. Clyburn sees the lane, goes, applies the brakes, kicks it out, fortuitously into the hands of Corey Higgins, who somehow gets the shot away. Corey Higgins, 17 points in the game. He puts CSKA Moscow up 4. So approaching 2 minutes to go in quarter number 3 here in Moscow. Slukas, guarded by DeColo. Vesely with a size advantage down low. Can Kyle Hines come across to help? Because this is meat and drink for Vesely. Get the sense that he needs some help down there on the defensive end. Trying to deal with Vesely one-on-one in the low post. He's a determined defender. Look at this for a finish. Corey Higgins changing direction with the Euro step. Getting that shot to fall. Outstanding performance once again from Corey Higgins. 4 of 5 from 2-point territory. 17 points in the game as Jan Vesely goes to the free-throw line for the second time tonight. He remains perfect from the line. 22 points in the game. Makes it a 1-possession game. So Jan Vesely remains perfect from the line tonight. He has equaled his career high, 23 points on 10 of 14 shooting from Jan Vesely. And he keeps his team within 1 possession. CSKA Moscow on the break. Offensive foul is the call. The layup attempt from Kyle Hines has been waved off. Well, I think it will. Let's see who it gets called on. I suspect it's Semen Antonov for that illegal screen there. Not stationary when he set that block. To this, can't believe what has just transpired. So Antonov called for his first. CSKA Moscow looking to maintain their advantage, but it's inside to Thompson. He's wrapped up immediately by Kyle Hines. No unsportsmanlike foul. Jason Thompson will go to the free-throw line. First trip to the line tonight for Jason Thompson. 75% so far coming in. There's confirmation. Signed for Fenerbahce Istanbul in the off-season from Shandong in the Chinese league. Extensive time in the NBA before that. Signed out of Rider University to the Sacramento Kings, where he spent the first 7 years of his NBA career. So it's a 1-point game. Thompson goes 1 of 2 from the free-throw line. Clyburn again backing down Slukas. Across to help his melee. Rapid ball movement. Finds an open man in the corner, but it rattles in and out as Semen Antonov couldn't connect on his second three-pointer of the night. So Fenerbahce trailing by just one. Slukas for three, count it! And Fenerbahce go in front. What a game we have here. The last two EuroLeague champions slugging it out on the hardwood here in Moscow. It's a one-possession game with a minute to go. Semen Antonov sees a lane, he offloads to Kyle Hines. So James Nunnally taking a seat on the bench. He's just been assessed with his fourth foul. Perfect from downtown tonight. 6 points in the game, 2 of 2 from three-point land. But he's one foul away from his fifth and disqualifying foul. Here's Kostas Lukas connecting on his second three-pointer of the night to move to 8 points in the game. Both teams now in the penalty. We have an official review over on the monitor, the operator, the video operator. Perhaps just seeing whether that's in the act of shooting or otherwise. So 2 shots to come. See Kyle Hines. So Kyle Hines moved to 11 points in the game. Remains perfect from the stripe. 5 for 5 tonight. Brings his team back to within 1. So Kyle Hines continuing to be perfect from the foul line. He takes a seat on the bench. 12 points in the game. His team's second top scorer. 6 of 6 from the free throw line, and we are deadlocked. 61 points apiece. Just under a minute to play. Wanamaker sees a lane, takes the contact, goes to the floater, comes down with the offensive board, gets Kabanov in the air, drags it back out. So Slukas working on Rodriguez. Thompson with the screen. Slukas looking at the three, lets it fly, rim shot. Rodriguez hustles after the board. So we have a 10-second differential between the shot clock and the quarter clock. De Colo guarded by Thompson. He'll work on him. He settled for a long range two. My goodness. But when you are feeling it like that, why not? CSKA Moscow take a 2-point lead. Wanamaker holding for the last shot of the possession. Drives on Kabanov, gets the shot away, doesn't get the shooter's roll. Rodriguez with his head up, launches it. He didn't beat the buzzer. That signals the end of the third quarter. Well, the CSKA Moscow fight back continued through that 10-minute period. And with 1 quarter to play here in Moscow, CSKA Moscow leading by 2. CSKA Moscow 63, Fenerbahce Istanbul 61. Kyle Hines pocketing yet another steal. 3 thefts in the game for him. Getting loose on the fast break. Corey Higgins has made some remarkable plays en route to 17 points tonight. Nando De Colo connecting on his sole 3-point attempt. Remember, he picked up that unsportsmanlike foul, so he hasn't played much, or he hasn't contributed much offensively tonight. Has been a facilitator. Look at that for a catch and finish in traffic from Kyle Hines. And Jan Vesely using and exploiting the mismatch over De Colo. Kyle Hines late on the rotation. Jan Vesely with 2 of his equal career high of 23 points. Well, that's how tight this game is. Fenerbahce with an edge on the boards. Turnover stats just about equal. Fenerbahce sharing the ball efficiently as well. The leading scorers, Jan Vesely equaling his career high of 23 points, a high that he scored in April of 2015 against Maccabi Fox Tel Aviv. And he went 11 of 14 from two-point territory. He's put up similarly impressive numbers tonight. 10 of 14 from two-point land and perfect from the stripe at 3 for 3. Kyle Hines deserves immense credit in that regard as well. Has drained all 6 of his free throw attempts and had just missed just once from the field. And with 3 steals and 3 assists as well. Not to mention his penchant for blocks. So all of those numbers adding together to give him a performance index rating of 22, leading all players in that all-important stat. And just a reflection of the good things he has done all over the court. You see Jan Vesely perhaps being saved for down the stretch. Corey Higgins, the leading scorer for CSKA Moscow with 17 points tonight. So the fourth quarter underway. CSKA Moscow leading Fenerbahce by just 2. Wanamaker into the lane, taken away from Nando De Colo, who's then bundled to the court. Nicolo Mele couldn't apply the brakes in time. Terrific hands from Nando De Colo. So De Colo gives it to Kabanov. Kicks out. Rodriguez with all kinds of time. And didn't he exploit it well? Sergio Rodriguez connecting on his 3rd three-pointer tonight to move to double digits in the game. Rodriguez shooting 44% from three-point land on the season. He's a 40% three-point shooter on his career. So the lead is 5. De Tome working on De Colo. Taken away, terrific hands once again. Nando De Colo with the steal, driving. Met by Thompson, pulls it back out. Antonov gives it back to De Colo. Nando De Colo with 2 steals in succession. Kick to the corner, Antonov, Kabanov driving. Now that's given away. Kabanov drove baseline, was looking for a receiver, but couldn't find anybody. Look at Rodriguez. Time to take a long look at the ball's destination. 3 of 5 from downtown tonight. So he's swooping into the lane. It's Kostas Lukas, he moves to double digits. Rodriguez kicks De Colo, the extra pass to Kabanov. He's driving into heavy traffic, taking it up strong, goes to the double pump. That's a tough shot attempt from Nikita Kabanov. He's still looking for his first points of the night. Fenerbahce looking to get back to parity. Mele from the corner, drains it, and we have a tied basketball game once again. Colo Mele ties things up at 66 points apiece. Othello Hunter offloads to De Colo, who's free from the three-point line and connects to move to 10 points in the game. And it's a flurry of three-pointers through these early opening exchanges of the fourth quarter. CSKA Moscow leading by 3. Slukas working on Hunter, pulls it back out. De Colo almost came up blindside again. Guduric fakes the 3, fires the 3, connects on the 3. And it's that type of night. The fans being treated to some dead-eye shooting here in Moscow. A tied game once again at 69. Rodriguez, back iron on the shot. Trying to grow and reel it in was Semen Antonov. Couldn't secure possession for his team. So timeout on the floor. And we are tied. I thought it was a timeout. So 3 minutes gone in the final quarter. And we are deadlocked at 69. Thompson, blocking foul on Othello Hunter. So it's Lucas, up by Clyburn now, working on him, spins into the middle, tries to offload, finds Melee. That is delightful play. What a pass and what a finish. Kostas Lucas, ever alert. Lucas offloading his 7th assist of the night to give Fenerbahce a 2-point lead. Timeout on the floor. Look at that for a fine. Well, the three-pointers came thick and fast in the opening stages of this final period. CSKA Moscow trailing by 2. It's a one-possession game. 6.5 minutes to go in the final quarter. Oh, that's a rather lazy-looking pass. Rodriguez made the deception, goes behind the back after a terrific catch to tie the game at 71. Rodriguez, 13 points in the game now. 2 of 3 from two-point territory. Buduric, Colo loosely guarding him. It's a big screen from Thompson. Tome working on this weak side of the zone, goes to the step back. That is tough. Well, that's what you're supposed to do with a mismatch when you've got the type of stroke that Luigi Tome has. Gives his team a 2-point advantage. Tome averaging just under 13 points per game. 7 points on the night. De Colo tickling the twine once again. 12 points in the game now for Nando De Colo, and he ties things up at 73 points apiece.
Нападение получается игрок команды Fenerbahce номер Гудурич, номер 23, третий фол. Выдел фаул. От команды замену нашей гостей на паркете Ян Веселый.
De Colo picked up that unsportsmanlike foul early. 26 minutes he's been on the court, and he's just... Nando De Colo generally gets his points in a bit of a hurry and in bunches. He's steadily edged his way back into this game, and he's done so many good things without putting the ball in the hole as well. He's handling now, sees a lane, drives it, tries a reverse layup, poked away by Thompson. DeColo able to recover. Rodriguez straight back into traffic. Clyburn fakes the three, offloads. Othello Hunter, big right-handed hook attempt. That has to go down as patient offense. Othello Hunter moves to 4 points in the game. And CSKA didn't panic in the face of some pretty tenacious Fenerbahce defense. Lucas driving the baseline. Higgins made sure there was nowhere to go. Nicolo Meli, guarded by DeColo. Wide open is the Tome. Start jogging back the other way, because you give the man who is tied in three-point accuracy at 3rd place with 50% coming in from downtown. He's perfect tonight. And the Tome moves to double figures in the game to give Fenerbahce a 1-point lead. Vesely just inquiring after the welfare of the camera operator there. Clyburn got low, and the two of them went hurtling towards him. It's a terrific shot, and thankfully, all is okay with both player and camera operator after that turnover. So, just over 4 minutes to go. Fenerbahce leading by 1. Slukas. Hunter picks him up beyond the 3-point line. Isolation now for Slukas. Goes to the step back, slapped out of bounds. A 24-second shot clock violation. The punctuation point provided by Othello Hunter with an emphatic block on Kostas Lukas, who tried to go to the step back J. Othello Hunter demonstrating his lateral movement, recovered quickly. Like a cat on a hot tin roof, he got off the floor quickly, extended the right hand and slapped that one away. Shot clock violation. Terrific hustle. Demetrius Atudis likes it. Cleared it as a shot clock violation because I heard the hooter. Where did it sound? Was the ball in bounds or out of bounds? Here's the official verdict. So 4:05 on the game clock. It was a shot clock violation. CSKA Moscow inbounding, trailing by 1. 4 minutes to go in the game. It has been an absolute classic so far. CSKA Moscow looking to extend their win streak upstairs. Othello Hunter has to come down with it. Surrounded. Beautiful ball movement from CSKA. Corey Higgins trying for 3 off the top of the backboard. And it will be Fenerbahce ball. Oh, never mind the extravagant salaries that these players earn by virtue of being the very best on the continent and competing in the best European club competition there is. We are witnessing right now the purest form of competition as Slukas gets loose. Jan Vesely denied at the hoop. He went up looking to move to a career high. Will Clyburn had other ideas and challenged the dunk. There's the offload. It was Nicolo Meli, who went up strong. Will Clyburn came across. Committed the foul. It's Corey Higgins who has been called for his 4th. So, CSKA's leading scorer, now 1 foul away from disqualification. And that's what Coach Atudis is asking. Who is that foul on? Because it looked as though the guilty party was Will Clyburn, number 21. He's the man who challenged Meli on the shot, but it's gone down to number 22's foul.
So how many fouls had Corey?
So it's been taken away from Corey Higgins and attributed to Will Clyburn, but that now means Will Clyburn is on 4 fouls. So the foul call has been amended. There's confirmation. Corey Higgins is on 3 fouls. Will Clyburn now on 4, as is James Nunnally for Fenerbahce Dosh Istanbul. So Nicolo Meli, perfect 2 for 2 on his first trip to the free throw line. And it's a 3-point advantage for Fenerbahce Dosh Istanbul. We're approaching money time now. And this is where the big players enhance their rep and earn their money. Corey Higgins has given it away, jumping to pass and only into the hands of Slukas. Tied at 15 turnovers apiece. Wanamaker picked up by DeColo. Big screen from Jason Thompson. Melee fakes the 3, goes to the pull-up J and connects. Nicolo Melee moves to 9 points in the game. Bradley Wanamaker with 9 assists to go with his 8 points. Wonderful ball movement. There's the fake. 1 dribble, got loose. Nicolo Melee makes it a 5-point lead for the visitors. They've trailed by as many as 5 in this quarter. By virtue of outscoring CSKA by 7 so far, head-to-head by 5. Corey Higgins has had an outstanding game, 17 points, 2 of 4 from downtown, but he committed a turnover, which then gave Fenerbahce possession. 4 of 5 from 2-point territory on some remarkable finishes. Look at that for a Euro step finish in the face of contact. So creative, such concentration on the finish. Leading all scorers. There's confirmation of what has been a terrific night, but his second turnover committed on his previous trip down the floor when he couldn't find an avenue to the bucket. And instead put it straight into the hands of Kostas Lukas. Past his season average, almost doubling it, Corey Higgins. You've mentioned the fact that this is money time. CSKA are going to need his composure and the basketball IQ to be in full effect here now. Less than 3 minutes to play. CSKA Moscow 75, Fenerbahce 80. CSKA Moscow looking to for Fenerbahce's defense all over the court. Tough shot attempt by Corey Higgins. He can't get it to fall. Bradley Wanamaker now double team. But he offloads to Slukas. Upstairs it goes. Jan Vesely comes down with it. Nicolo Meli thought about the 3, but instead gave it back to Slukas, who was establishing his team in the half-court set. Meli with the size advantage over DeColo. Starts to back him down. The shot clock is ticking down. Takes it to the middle. Hanging short on the shot. Ball is loose. Jason Thompson with another offensive rebound. 6 on the night now for 12 rebounds in the game. Which way is that one going? Well, it's absolutely crucial. CSKA Moscow played strong D for practically 24 seconds there, and then made the cardinal sin, committed the cardinal sin of not coming down with the basketball. Jason Thompson secured his 6th offensive rebound of the night to give a new possession to Fenerbahce. So timeout on the floor. Fenerbahce leading CSKA Moscow by 5. Time now to take a look at the 7 days magic moment. And that was a rim-rocking jam off the screen and roll from Jan Vesely. all over Othello Hunter, set the screen, rolled to the bucket, and took it to the rack with one purpose in mind. Jan Vesely with the 7 days magic moment, an emphatic 2 of his game-high 23 points. So looking to inbound. Oh my goodness. Now with 3.9 seconds on the shot clock, foul has been committed. Both teams still with fouls to give. It will be a new 14 and possession for Fenerbahce. So the Tomi looking for a receiver. He finds Vesely. He gives it to Slukas. Big screen set by Vesely. He's rolling to the bucket. Upstairs it goes. Pick and roll played delightfully by Fenerbahce. And it's a new career high for Jan Vesely. 25 points in the game off the delightful feed from Kostas Lukas. There's the pick and roll. And Jan Vesely, such an explosive leaper. Head all up in the hoop. Cramming home that two-fisted jam. Now CSKA Moscow going to have to make their move now. Kyle Hines up strong in amongst three Fenerbahce defenders. Andrei Kirilenko saying, where's the foul? Kyle Hines moves to 14 points in the game. 4 of 5 from two-point territory. They are trailing by 5. They need stops. Bradley Wanamaker picks up his dribble. Kyle Hines making life difficult. Vesely down in the block to Thompson. He's looking to exploit the mismatch. Shot clock down to 5. Kyle Hines gets a piece of it. Wanamaker with the tough shot. And it's a shot clock violation. Terrific D by CSKA Moscow. We said they needed stops. And they didn't panic, they didn't resort to fouls. Instead, they just swarmed and scrapped and harried and hustled. But look at that. In amongst 3 yellow jerseys, Kyle Hines with the catch and the finish. 14 points, 4 of 5 shooting from two-point territory. His team down 5 inside the final minute. Rodriguez looking at the 3, drives the lane, in heavy traffic, reverse layup is good! Sergio Rodriguez moves to 15 points in the game. He's asking for a foul. The referee's not interested. It's a one-possession game. Shake and bake on the dribble. Lots of contact. And the basket goes on the baseline drive. Look at the way he held off Jason Thompson, cradling the ball in his right hand before kissing it home off the backboard. Lukas trying to go behind the back. Ball is loose. Is it going to be an over and back? Terrific hustle to keep it alive. Down to the corner. The Tomi. Oh, this is frenetic stuff. The shot clock was down to 2.3. CSKA Moscow fighting for everything. Both teams still with fouls to give. Look at that for hustle from Melee. The tiptoe teaser getting rid of that ball before his toes came down inside his own defensive half, ensuring that it wouldn't be a backcourt violation. And the roof being raised here by the CSKA Moscow faithful. Stomping their feet, clapping their hands, making life difficult on the inbounds. Ball is loose, players hitting the floor. And it's CSKA ball, rewarded for their tenacity. And again, the millionaires of the EuroLeague getting down and dirty in an effort to secure possession of the basketball, which is so precious. Down goes the Tomi, down goes Kabanov, Wanamaker hitting the deck, last touched by Fenerbahce. But all of that came about because Wanamaker was under pressure from the 5-second clock to inbound the basketball. That's why he tried to bounce it off Nando De Colo. And the bounce, you have to say, favored CSKA because it didn't go directly back out of bounds. And while it was loose and bobbling like a Nerf ball, CSKA have emerged from the scramble with possession. They are trailing by 3. And they have got so many dead-eye shooters on the floor. What will they do? Fenerbahce are not in the penalty. A 3-pointer would force this game to an extra period. Remember, Fenerbahce went to overtime in round 7. A game that they lost against Olympiacos by 7 ultimately on home court. What is going to transpire in these closing seconds here? Well, anytime Dimitris Atudis and Zelko Obradovic go head-to-head on the sidelines, it's often billed as a matchup between master and apprentice. And such an excellent assistant to Obradovic, Dimitris Atudis, during that time at Panathinaikos. But surely, once you claim continent's ultimate prize, you can no longer be considered an apprentice. Apprenticeship is over. Dimitris Atudis, an outstanding coach in his own right. And those two men matching wits over on the sideline now. End game situations being drawn up by both coaches. This man on the offensive end, Fenerbahce on the defensive end. All of the players will have rehearsed this moment time and time and time again. Game on the line, closing seconds. It's what they would have been doing in the playgrounds and the gym since they picked up a basketball. And this is the moment that the top players live for. High drama here at the Mega Sport Arena. Which way is this one going to go?
He has to be deep. You're going here. Give him a stop.
So what has been drawn up here? Nando De Colo is 2 of 2 from downtown tonight. Sergio Rodriguez, 3 of 6. Corey Higgins, 2 of 4. Will Clyburn is connected on his only attempt. Conversely, do you go inside to Kyle Hines, who is 4 of 5 from 2-point territory, 6 of 6 from the free throw line? Could he get 3 the old-fashioned way? So many permutations, so many possibilities. Like a game of speed chess. Move and counter move, all about to unfold in front of us here. A negligible difference between the game clock and the quarter clock. The first order of business to get the ball in bounds. Rodriguez with a huge edge in foot speed over Jan Vesely. There's the foul. Fenerbahce have fouls to give. So a little bit of time has gone off the clock. And that has given Fenerbahce a look at what CSKA Moscow intend to do with the sideline inbounds. Will it be the same one again now? With a few seconds gone since the emergence from the timeout. Clyburn to Hines. This isn't Hines' territory. He gives it to Rodriguez. Pulls up, gets hit, finds a 3, counts it! Oh my goodness, what high drama here at the Mega Sport Arena. Sergio Rodriguez took a shot to the head, and still his concentration was such that he connected on the 3-pointer and will now go to the free throw line looking to complete a 4-point play. Absolutely sensational stuff here at the Mega Sport Arena. All of the CSKA Moscow players and fans up out of their seats. Sergio Rodriguez goes to the free throw line for the first time tonight. He is 10 of 10 on this season. He has yet to miss, an 84% foul shooter for his career. So
номер
The
70.
the shot clock has been turned off. And there's confirmation. Sergio Rodriguez's perfection from the foul line. Sergio Rodriguez has just completed a 4-point play. CSKA Moscow lead by 1. They have trailed by as many as 7 in this fourth quarter, but that man's single-handed heroics have seen them get their noses in front in the dying seconds here at the Mega Sports Arena. Well, Sergio Rodriguez has been absolutely immense, but has there been a bigger moment than this? Applying the brakes, pulling up, taking the contact, and connecting on the three-pointer. Absolutely amazing. There's the clear contact, but the concentration, the trust in the stroke, instinct born of hours upon hours of practice, augmenting the considerable talent that he possesses. And then he went to the free throw line for the first time on the night to complete the 4-point play and move to 11 consecutive free throws on the season so far. He has yet to miss. CSKA Moscow still have a foul to give. The Mega Sport fans here making life and communication difficult for Fenerbahce. They have 15 seconds in which to get a shot. What will they do? Will they try and milk it and go for one shot so that CSKA can't respond? Will they look to fire quickly? Wanamaker, picked up by Hines, drives aggressively. Which way is the foul being called? Nando De Colo was surely stationary. But what say the officials? There's that type of time here for fans of both teams. So here's Wanamaker, such a strong driver with the rock. Nando De Colo taking up position around the defensive halo. Tudis can't believe the call has gone against his team. So Bradley Wanamaker will go to the free throw line. Both teams in the penalty. Wanamaker, 75% shooter on the season. He's perfect from the stripe tonight, 4 for 4 in his 8-point haul. Bradley Wanamaker ties the game at 83 and stops an 8-0 run that CSKA Moscow had put together to get themselves in front by 1. Misses the second, it's almost squeezed by Vesely. We have a tied game. Corey Higgins gives it to Rodriguez, the man who is on fire. He's dribbling hard, inside to Hines. Fires the shot, it was a tough shot. So we are going to overtime here at the Mega Sports Arena. For the second game in succession, Fenerbahce have been forced to an extra period. They came out on the wrong end of the result from their perspective in round number 7, losing by 7 to Olympiacos. What is going to transpire over the next 5-minute period here? At the end of regulation, these teams couldn't be separated. CSKA Moscow 83, Fenerbahce Dosh Istanbul 83. Well, what an amazing 10 minutes of basketball. Nando De Colo connecting from downtown. 12 points in the game for him so far. Extra pass found Luigi De Tome, who's also perfect from downtown. Look at that for a catch and finish from Kyle Hines. 14 points in the game so far for him. Jan Vesely getting loose in the low post. He's on a career high night, 25 points for Jan Vesely. That was terrific D, 24-second shot clock violation, but this, the most significant point of the entire game. Sergio Rodriguez taking a shot to the head and connecting on his 4th three-pointer. Going on to complete the 4-point play, which gave CSKA Moscow a 1-point lead. Bradley Wanamaker then went 1 of 2 from the free throw line to tie it up at 83, and that is how we have arrived. All square at the end of regulation, and we'll be going to overtime. Sergio Rodriguez surpassing his season average along with Corey Higgins. Sergio Rodriguez, the hero of the hour for CSKA Moscow. Are his heroics going to be in vain? Just a reminder, Will Clyburn is on 4 fouls, so too is James Nunnally. So CSKA Moscow have possession to begin this extra period. We are tied at 83 points apiece. This reminiscent of what happened last season. And in that extra period, as Kyle Hines goes up strong and gets the finish, Kyle Hines in heavy traffic moves to 16 points in the game. 5 of 7 from 2-point territory. Now, in the extra period last season, it was Fenerbahce who dominated, winning the extra period by a margin of 20 points to 4. Competition record margin in overtime. CSKA Moscow will want to prevent that. And they've made a solid start going down to their solid citizen. Bradley Wanamaker went 1 of 2 to send the game to overtime. 6 of 7 from the stripe tonight, 10 points and 9 assists. So Bradley Wanamaker ties things up for Fenerbahce. James Nunnally back out onto the floor. So Sergio Rodriguez picked up by Nunnally, who has, remember, 4 fouls. He's going to have to watch how he conducts himself. That's an ambitious alley-oop, and Nikita Kabanov can't convert. They go to him once again. Up strong, slapped away from behind. And it's Wanamaker who comes away with the basketball. Well, how costly is that going to be? Nikita Kabanov will be disappointed that he didn't convert that second attempt in particular. He's still looking for his first points of the night. He's 0 of 3 from 2-point territory. Meili hanging. It's Vesely on the follow. So Fenerbahce, edge in front. They lead by 2. CSKA Moscow will surely want to get a better look at the basket than they had last time. Kyle Hines has got a mismatch down low against Nunnally. Can they find him? Instead, it's 3 from the corner. Front rim on the shot. And that is not going to help CSKA Moscow's cause. Kyle Hines had Nunnally, who is on 4 fouls, trying to defend him in the low post. And they have elected to go for the long ball. Corey Higgins is 2 of 5 from 2-point territory now. Heard Coach Dimitris Atoudis talking about trust. Of course, that's one of the things about coaching. You have to trust the players. They have to have the freedom to make the decisions out there on the court. Wanamaker pulling up, and he is coming to play in the extra period. He has been outstanding so far, 13 points in the game. Rodriguez driving. So that is the first miss on the season from the free throw line for Sergio Rodriguez. His team remaining down 4. Remember, they got the first points of the overtime period. Did CSKA Moscow. Back in his groove is Sergio Rodriguez. It's a one-possession game. Wanamaker, picked up by Hines. The Toman, guarded by DeColo. They go down in the low post to Vesely. Mismatch against Higgins. Turnaround Jay, broken up. But again, Fenerbahce's hustle gives them a new 14. Slukas to Wanamaker. Hines guarding him, working the dribble. Drives the lane, goes up strong. Tipped home again. Somebody's got to get a body on Jan Vesely, because he has got 2 stickbacks in the overtime period. Nobody boxing the man out. Fundamental basketball. Watching the ball rather than the man. And Vesely continues to add to his career-high night. 29 points in the game now for Jan Vesely. And CSKA Moscow are trailing by 5. Confirmation of the career-high night that Jan Vesely has produced at the offensive end. 13 of 18 from 2-point territory, perfect from the free throw line. 5 rebounds and 2 steals as well. Sergio Rodriguez sent the game into overtime. He's just experienced his first miss from the free throw line on the season. 20 points in the game for him. So DeColo handling the basketball, his team trailing by 5. Rodriguez sees a seam baseline, drives, brings it all the way back out. CSKA going to have to re-establish their spacing. 3-pointer in the face of Jan Vesely. Backhand on the shot. James Nunnally with the board. So the basket remaining covered from CSKA Moscow's point of view. They're going to have to battle their way back into this one with defense once again. Wanamaker was being such a thorn in their side in this extra period. Whistle away from the basketball. Rodriguez doesn't agree. That's why you see him employing the shoulder charge, trying to prevent Vesely from posting up. Corey Higgins taking a seat on the bench. So Vesely can't find the range on that. It's his first miss from the foul line tonight. And he's 0 for 2 on that trip to the free throw line. So CSKA Moscow scored just 3 points in this overtime period. Karl Heinz posting up Wanamaker. Surely that's a mismatch, but again, he's got the rebound, fighting for it, coming back down with it again. Outstanding work on the offensive glass from Karl Heinz. Because not looking to criticize the decision-making or the plays that are being drawn up. I can't understand why they're not going to him when he's got smaller guards on his back. Previously down the floor, it was Nunnally. This time it was Wanamaker, but he went and got the basketball for himself, just as he has done all game long, Karl Heinz. And now looking to extend his perfect ledger from the foul line this evening. 6 out of 6 so far, 16 points in the game. And he's excellence continues. First miss on the night for Kyle Hines, but CSKA have possession once again. Nando De Colo working, driving. Now that's going to be a foul in the act of shooting. Nando De Colo will go to the free throw line, making a trip to the stripe for the first time tonight, and he is 25 of 25 on the season. He's made 36 consecutive free throws overall. .12, 13 points in the game now for Nando De Colo. Nando De Colo makes it a one-possession game. CSKA Moscow, 89. Fenerbahce, 91. 1 minute, 20 seconds to go in the overtime period. Slukas, big screen set by Vesely. He's rolling to the bucket. Slukas has picked up his dribble. Inside it goes. Terrific positioning once again. And Jan Vesely continues to feast on the CSKA Moscow defense on the inside. 31 points in the game for him now. His team lead by 4. De Colo sees a seam, drives to the hole. Nando De Colo moves to 16 points in the game to bring his team back to within 2. So Rodriguez guarding Slukas. Vesely sets the screen once again. He's trying to roll to the bucket. Over on the weak side, Rodriguez is in the lane against Nicolo Meli. Now they're trying to post up Meli. Instead, a 3 is launched. Rim shot. Rebound Meli. Last touch by Fenerbahce. And it will be CSKA ball. Well, this is absolutely extraordinary. Have we got a review here? Now, who touched that last? The official on the spot said it was Fenerbahce. Here's the three-point attempt in the face of Kyle Hines. So going to an official review. This is the view that the officials have on the screen of the VT operator. So a crucial call here, and that is why the officials have technology to assist them in this regard. Possession of the basketball so crucial. The operator pulling up all the angles he possibly can. This is going to be one that gives a clear view. This is real-time, the real-time decision-making process we're seeing here. We've just seen what the officials have seen. So it will be CSKA ball, one-possession game. They trail by 2. James Nunnally is on 4 fouls. So Nando De Colo being guarded by Wanamaker. 10-second differential between the shot clock and the quarter clock. Or the game clock, rather. De Colo driving on Vesely, making room for himself, taking it up strong with the left hand, and he ties the game at 93. Nando De Colo moves to 18 points in the game and worked the dribble magnificently to slice his way to the bucket to make it a tied game once more. Jan Vesely shuffling his feet with all the dynamism he could muster. He couldn't prevent a fleet-footed Nando De Colo getting to the hole with a swooping left-handed finish. Terrific basketball, good offense, beating good defense. So could it possibly be another overtime period that we're looking at here? Teams unable to be separated. 10 points apiece in the overtime. An overtime where CSKA Moscow scored the first point, only then to see Fenerbahce go on a 6-0 run. Fenerbahce led by as many as 5 in the extra time period. Once again, CSKA have battled back. Another outstanding night for Nando De Colo. Performance index rating of 25. And remember, he picked up that unsportsmanlike foul early in the game. Saw him take a seat on the bench. He didn't contribute that much offensively. But he has really come to life in this second half. So Detomi looking for him a receiver. Wanamaker with the catch. Higgins down low in his defensive stance. Closing seconds of the game. Wanamaker holding for the final shot. Remember, he's got the luxury of missing if he holds for the final shot here. And CSKA would have to force another overtime. He's pulled up for 3. It's a rim shot. Be kept alive. That will count. Oh my goodness, the activity on the offensive glass from the Colo Meli has given Fenerbahce an overtime victory. But a review is being called for because the 3-point attempt from Wanamaker was dancing around on the rim, and Nicolo Meli got up highest and guided it home with a delicate touch with his right hand. Now has the game clock reached 0? See, as the ball leaves his hand, the basket counts. And in this rematch of the 2016 EuroLeague Championship Final, Fenerbahce Istanbul have won an overtime thriller in the most dramatic fashion. A tip from the Colo Meli with less than a second on the clock sees them end the home winning streak of CSKA Moscow for the 2nd season in succession. The last home loss suffered by CSKA Moscow came in December last year at the hands of Fenerbahce in an overtime defeat. Fenerbahce swept the season series against CSKA Moscow, winning on their home floor. And with CSKA Moscow having established a 14-game winning streak, making the Mega Sport Arena a fortress, Fenerbahce Istanbul have come to Moscow once again and brought that winning streak to a juddering halt. Final score from the Mega Sport Arena after overtime: CSKA Moscow 93, Fenerbahce Istanbul 95.
Turkish Airlines, 7 days, and Winline, official global sponsors in association with the Turkish Airlines EuroLeague.